So now that the people in Japan have spoken, what does this mean for the region and the world as a whole? I posed that question to Bruce Klingner of the Heritage Foundation.
The election results themselves were long predicted. We knew Abe's party, the LDP, would gain a significant majority in the upper house to go along with the pre-existing majority in the lower house. So now with the campaigns and the elections out of the way, both countries should be focusing on primarily changes to the security policies. Abe needs to implement long overdue reforms, not only to the Japanese Defense Forces, but to push for the construction of a replacement U.S. Marine Corps air base on Okinawa.
He has nationalistic tendencies, as you well know, and the relationship with China has been, I'd say, challenging, if maybe the word to come up with, in terms of the relationship and how they deal with this argument over the Diaoyu Islands. How is that going to manifest itself now that the election has taken place?
Well, I think really we need to put Japanese nationalism into context. The country is starting from an extreme pacifist position. So as it adopts a stronger position against what is perceived as growing Chinese assertiveness and belligerence, it's starting from a very passive base.
But he has pushed in the past a nationalistic agenda during his disastrous prime ministership about 6 years ago, where he was talking about the curriculum and trying to get the Japanese wartime atrocities purged from the curriculum. He has kind of played to that nationalistic sensibility, but you don't feel like that's exacerbating the situation at all?
Well, it's his comments, as well as those by other Japanese politicians, have been needlessly controversial and counterproductive. Japan should be focusing on future policies rather than trying to revise the past. And actually, Japan's perceived lack of atonement to the same level as Germany did after World War II, has left lingering suspicions amongst Japan's neighbors. And the fact that historic issues are still issues show that clearly Japan has not done enough to atone. So while these comments by Abe have flared suspicions in the region, I think more importantly, what they've done is detract from the real security concerns in the region.
So he can be a transformative leader in the region. This obviously a mandate for him. What, if you were to counsel him, what moves would you suggest he make?
Well, he needs to, on economics, he has what he's called Abenomics with 3 arrows in the quiver. The first 2 really are sort of short-term stimulus measures, and they have had a positive impact on investor confidence as well as the Japanese stock market. But what he needs to do now, and he should do now that he has a renewed mandate, is implement the long overdue structural reforms such as the agricultural sector, overhauling the pension system, and moving Japan towards joining the Trans-Pacific Partnership. On the security front, he needs to continue reversing the 11-year trend of decreasing Japanese defense spending to more fully address the security concerns and security requirements of Japan and the alliance. And also, but at the same time, he needs to refrain from these counterproductive historic revisionist comments that, as I said before, needlessly alienate the neighbors and divert attention from the real security threats in Asia.
Bruce Klingner, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.